I'm Ed from Socom Tactical, and today we're going to have a look at our budget but professional airsoft gun overview. Now, it is Aeg's we're going to look at here because they do make the best starter gun. Now, what we have is we have a nice selection here. All of these guns are £200 or under, so they're not silly money to start out with, and they'll give you really nice professional performance in a cheap package, so to speak. So, where should we start? Well, we've got quite a few different variants here. We've got the support gunner, we've got the CQB, we've got your assault rifle styles. So we've got a nice selection for what you may want to start out with for your first loadout and weapon. Now, some of these batteries do come with NIMs in the box. However, we recommend that you run them all off 7.4 LiPos or lithium-ion batteries, which will give you a better performance overall out of the box. So, they're all shooting pretty well as well. They're all in the 300 to 330 FPS range, so you get a nice thing. They perform very well out of the box. They're really popular, particularly the Vulcans here. The Vulcan series have been very popular with the starter guns. However, we've also got our S&T G36, which is really kind of cool if you're looking for a good G36 to start with. We got our Ejg G3 for if you like that G3 style, which I do quite a lot. We got our Ejg Mp5 and our Ejg G36 LMG. Now, what we'll do is we're going to go through each of the different ones at a time. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with the G36. The Ejg G36E features a polymer construction, top railed handguard with iron sights, ambidextrous fire selector, a folding stock, sling attachment points, ambidextrous magazine release, ambidextrous charging handle, adjustable hop-up, 40mm counterclockwise thread, and bipod. So here we have the Ejg G36 Light Machine Gun, or as its official title is the Ejg G36E. Now, these are pretty awesome. I like running one of these. They're really good for if you want to start off with a support gunner style roll. They are polymer construction, as you can hear. However, they are solid. You can hear not lots of rattling, lots of creaking. Very nice, really quite comfortable to hold. Also, being polymer, they are light. So if you're younger and you want something a bit like this, but you don't want to have tons of weight, this is a good choice. Or, you know, if you just want to have a nice lightweight gun that you can take around and give awesome suppressing fire or accurate single shot fire, this is what you're looking for. FPS, we're looking at about 330 mark. It comes in on the price range at 170, so it's nice, it's affordable. On the top, we do have a rail. Now, this means we can attach sights onto it without much issue. We've got our rear sight and our front sight, helps you aim nice and easily. Towards the rear, we've got our folding stock. Now, there's a button on this side that if you press, the stock will fold. This makes it really nice, really well suited for if you need to get into a CQB situation, you need to pull it in closely, or if you just want to transport and you need to shorten the length a bit. Now, there is a sling point here on the stock, and there is also a sling point on the rear just in front of the stock here. Now, this means you can attach a single point sling, carry it, or you can attach a 2-point sling because we also have a sling point on the front underneath the barrel. So this does give you some options for the customization with the slings. So we then have the ambidextrous fire selector. We have safe, semi and full auto. It's got a nice detent, bit of resistance, so it's not likely to easily be bounced onto the wrong setting, which is always good for those of you particularly wanting to start airsoft. Here's it on the other side. Now, we also have the ambidextrous magazine release, so you can operate this from either side. You just push that and the mag comes out. Now, it comes with a 300 round high capacity magazine, so if you are using this as a support gun roll, you've got plenty of ammo to give fire with, but it will also happily take mid-cap magazines. Now, we have the ambidextrous charging handle on the top. As you can see, the lever will come out to the right or out to the left. Just pull it back and hold, and you can access the hot wheel in here. And then you just put your finger in and turn it. And when you're done, let go and it will slide forward. Very nice. Now, handguard. We've got this long, comfortable handguard. In here is the battery. I will show you how the battery is installed shortly, but first what we'll do is we'll have a listen and see how it sounds with the battery in. So safe, doesn't fire, on to single. It's quite nice. That's a good speed, nice response for a budget but professional airsoft gun. So that gives you a nice bit of starting trigger pull. You know, it's not too fast, not too soft, it's nice. And then the full auto, because after all, it's got a bipod. It's here for sporting stuff. Let's see what that's like. Now that is nice. This is where it really shines, is as a support gun. So in the full auto mode, it's got a nice rate of fire. It's not too slow. It's got a nice bit of speed to it. So you're gonna have some good fun. And of course, if you combine it with the bipod, which you just pull down, you've got a lovely stable shooting platform. And there you go. Now when the bipod legs are out and you want to put them up, you just depress the little button on the side here and up they'll come. And then they're out of the way. Now the handguard. So if we push this pin out here, this means our handguard's now loose. So what we'll do is rest it on my leg and I'm going to slide it forward carefully. Now it slides forward, and what this will then do is reveal the battery space. And there is the battery. Just plug it in, keep the wires nice and tidy, close the handguard up, put the pin back in, and you're ready to go. Once the handguard's back on, ready to fire. We've then got the dummy bayonet lug, and then at the front we have the flash hider, which is attached with a 14mm counterclockwise thread. So you can take this off, attach a suppressor or a tracer unit. I recommend a tracer unit. These things look awesome when you're doing some suppressive fire with tracer rounds. And gives you a nice look, really does. Overall, very nice choice. The S&T G36C features a polymer construction, top railed handguard with iron sights, ambidextrous fire selector, a folding stock, sling attachment points, ambidextrous magazine release, ambidextrous charging handle, and adjustable hop-up. So here we have the S&T G36. Now this is probably the cheapest gun in the ones we're looking at today. It's £120, shoots about 310 FPS. Good FPS though. Good price for a starter range gun. Now we've got the folding stock, like on the Ejg G36E. Press the button, fold it in. This becomes really good for CQB, very small, or just for transport. We've got the sling points on the back, just in front of the stock. And we have two sling points on the front here, so you can sling from either side. We've got the top rail for attaching sights. We've got the adjustable front and rear sight. We also have the ambidextrous charging handle, which will go to the right or to the left. Pull back, and there we see the gearbox and the hop unit, which you just put your finger in and easily adjust. Now we've also got the ambidextrous fire selector for safe, semi and full auto. Now, this isn't quite as strong as the detent on the Ejg G36, but it does have a nice loud click, and you know where it is, and it does have some resistance, so it shouldn't change too easily if it gets caught. We've also got the ambidextrous mag release on the bottom. Comes with a high capacity 300-round magazine. Now, what we're going to do is slightly move forward to the handguard. So inside the handguard is where the battery is stored. To look at the battery, you just push the pin out here, slide it forward, and there is the battery. Just pop the battery in, slide the handguard back on, and put the pin in. Now this pin is really quite nice and secure, as you can see. It takes a little bit of force to get it in, but when it is in there nice and solidly, which means you haven't got to worry about your handguard pin going missing and your batteries falling out. We've also got on it the 3 pieces of rail. Now this means you can attach a foregrip, you can attach a grenade launcher, you can attach laser, torch, PQ box, anything like that you wanted to on the front, really quite happily. Now in the front we've got the 14mm clockwise threaded suppressor. So if you undo it like normal, it'll come off and you can swap it out with a tracer unit, a longer barrel, suppressor, whatever you kind of want. This gives you a nice bit of customizability. It means you can add something on if you want to. It means you make it look really cool. So it is polymer, of course, the build. However, really sturdy, really solid. There's nothing wobbling, creaky on here. It's still a very nice build. Now here's how it sounds in single. That is a really quite nice, crisp, snappy trigger response. Okay, it's not as fast as some of the higher end guns, but it's still really nice. Now when it's in a full auto. Oh yes. So even the full auto, it's got a nice, decent rate of fire there. That's actually higher than several other Ejgs I could think of. And it's just nice. Overall, if you're looking for a cheap starter gun, S&T G36, there's a good option. The T3 is made from polymer with a metal railed handguard, has sling loops, ambidextrous magazine release, fire selector with safe single and full auto, large battery compartment, iron sights, comes with a mountable sight rail and an adjustable hop-up. So let's have a closer look at this Ejg T3. Now at £200 it is the most expensive gun in our budget gun section. However, you do get quite a lot for it and it is a really nice gun for the price. We are going to start at the back end and we will work our way forward. Now FPS wise it is about 320, so you do get a decent FPS out of this. Right, so at the back we have the Polymer Stock. Now overall the main part of this gun, the main body, is polymer, with the handguard being metal and of course the barrel. So it really is quite solid, not creaking, not bending, good hard wearing gun. Now in the stock on the left hand side we do have this sling mount at the rear. Now this you can put a sling end on and then you put the other sling end on the sling mount at the front. Now the battery compartment is stored inside the stock, which means you do have quite a bit of space for a stock. Now, unlike the other guns, this gun is best run off a 9.6 volt NIM because it just likes that little bit extra power to keep it going. So to put a battery in, slide the stock off like that, so push down the butt pad, slide the end off, and then you just connect up, put it in. Now moving forward a little bit, you've got the mounts for the stock. We then have the rear sight. Now the rear sight you can turn, and when you turn you will get different holes which can give you more or less accuracy and adjusts for different ranges. The front sight is fixed and cannot be adjusted. Now on the top you can see here we do have these mounting sections. There's two on either side and this will allow you to put a G3 rail on if you want to put a rail mounted sight on the top, which is a really nice feature. Means you can, customize it, have your own red dot on when you're wanting to aim, so you don't have to use the iron sights. On the right hand side we do have a push button like an M4 magazine release, which will let you release the magazine, but primarily you'd use this, which is ambidextrous, which is just the old push with your thumb, hold the mag with the rest of your hand, pull it out. Really nice. This does come with a 300 round high capacity magazine, by the way. We've also got the grip, which as you can see is textured, so it fits your hand nice and comfortably. Got a big old trigger of a big handguard, so using it with gloves isn't going to be much of an issue. Makes it really nice. I gotta say, the comfort on the pistol grip is really quite pleasant, and no matter what hand you hold it with, you get a good feel. And if I was wearing big thick gloves, I'd still know I've got it, I'd know where the trigger is, I'd be able to operate everything. It's very nice. Now the fire selector, we've got safe, semi and full auto. Now it's number 20 because in the real one you'd only have 20 rounds in a mag. So with safe doesn't fire. If we put it on single, get a nice click, as you can hear, and here's to full auto. There you go, you can hear that click, yep. Now it's got quite a bit of stability, you do have to put pressure on it to move it. So let's have a quick listen to single. So that's with a 9.6 volt battery in it at the minute. So that's quite a nice snappy trigger. And here's it with full auto. Not bad. Now that gives us a nice good response, nice bit of firepower. This is running a 9.6 LiPo at the minute, but as I said, I recommend 9.6 NIM because that way it just will help it flow and keep it running quite nicely. So we've got the magazine and then we move forward. So after the magwell, come to the handguard. Now on the handguard you can see we've got rails on the bottom and on the left side and on the right side. Now this means that we can attach foregrip, maybe a grenade launcher if you want to. You can attach a torch, PQ box, laser. It's kind of up to you what you want to attach, but it gives us a nice customizability, which helps us because then it brings the older style of the G3, which I think is quite a good looking gun anyway, and then it adds a more modern tactical capability to it by allowing you to add these attachments. Now on the front top here we have the charging handle, so if you pull it back and lift it up like that, you will lock the bolt back, and in there is the hop unit, which you can just put your finger in and adjust. Now it's got nice thick ridges, the adjustment on the hop unit, so finding it and moving it is a really nice job. Then when you're done, just pull it down and let it go forward. I don't recommend you go HK slapping it because, like most guns with the HK lock open system, they're not as strong as the real thing, so if you keep slapping it, keep slamming forward, it might break. However, it's nice and solid, it is metal there, so it's a good bit of strength. Then we have the front, which is our flash hider. Now, as I said, it's 14mm counterclockwise, so you can take it off, you can extend the barrel, you could put a suppressor on it, you could put your own flash hider on it, or you could put a tracer unit on it. And then when you're shooting in low light, you get to see your rounds go nice and far and they look pretty awesome. Overall, very, very nice gun. Definite recommendation if you're looking for something a bit different that looks kind of cool and has a bit of a beefy presence, which it does. Then I'd definitely have a look at this. The Ejg Mp5 Pdw is made from primarily metal with a polymer lower and stock. The stock can be folded. It has a rear single point sling loop, an adjustable hop-up, ambidextrous magazine release, ambidextrous fire selector with safe single and full auto modes, and has an adjustable hop-up. So here we have the Ejg Mp5K Pdw RIS kit. Now this is a really nice weapon if you're looking for something a bit CQB-ish, that you can either carry as your primary in a CQB area or as a backup for if you've got a gun that can't be used in CQB. So we'll start with the back and work our way forward. So at the very back we have our polymer stock. Now the stock and the lower receiver are polymer, so that adds a bit of lightness to it. It is sturdy, and the rest of the body and the wrist system is metal. So overall you get a good combination of a bit of weight, a bit of beefiness and strength, but it's not super heavy. It's still quite light. Now the stock, we can fold it, we just push up and it spins into the side. This means we have a very nice lightweight pistol for carrying, for when you're really tight and you need to get as small as possible. Nice little feature. Now also with the stock we have our single point sling loop, so you can quite happily sling this. Very convenient place to have it as well. A little bit further forward we have these two pins. You can see here we've got a bottom one and top one, and if we poke them out, what we get is we can take the stock and the back plate off, and we get access to, apologies there, our battery compartment. Now this is designed to take stick type batteries, mainly NIMS, but you can also get some of the thinner lipos. There's currently a 7.4 thousand milliamp lipo in the top here, and it's nice and secured. So what I'm going to do is we're going to close it up now. Just push the stock in, apply a bit of pressure from one side, and push the pins through. There we go. There's one, and then there's the bottom one. There we go. Nice stable. Now we got the rear sight that you can change between different sized apertures, and the front sight which is fixed. We've also got our ambidextrous fire selector. Now it's not got quite as loud a click as some of the other guns we've looked at today's video, but it's still not bad. We'll listen in. You can feel when it's in position though, and it's not easily going to move out of position unless you want it to, which is a good thing. Let's have a listen to how it sounds when it fires. It's quite nice. And here's it on full auto. That's really quite nice. The full auto is nice. It's kind of what you'd expect from a little PDW that you might be expected to suddenly go spraying and praying as you run from cover to cover. But you've also got a nice snappy single shot. So that's a really nice thing to have. The fire selector is ambidextrous. It is on both the left and the right hand side. And the same is said for the magazine release. Now you can push the button here like the M4s and release a mag, but the main way to do it with an MP5 is use one of your thumbs and push that way, and then just pull the mag out. It does come with a short high capacity magazine, so that does look pretty cool in itself. You don't have the full length MP5 magazine, but you have a shorter one. And it also means you can carry a fair bit of ammo with you in that one mag. Now, let's have a look at the RIS kit. We've got a full top rail, so you can quite happily add sights, PQ box, anything you want like that. We also have the left, right and underside rail. Now, this means that we can attach torch, foregrip, lasers. Could, if you wanted to, add a grenade launcher. I'm always think it's a good idea to have grenade launchers. But that gives it a nice thing, means you can really customize it if you want. Now, we've also got our charging handle here, which you can move up, lock back. That is dummy though, it doesn't open a bolt or anything, just moves backwards and forwards, but it's a nice touch. So the final feature is the front. Now on the front we've got the Mp5 Flash Hider, which if you pull on this lever on the side, it will come off. There we go. This reveals this bit. Now here underneath this is a 14mm counterclockwise thread, which means that you can attach tracers and suppressors quite happily. Or if you really wanted, you could extend the barrel or something like that if you wanted to. But that gives us a nice ability to add something onto the outer barrel as well. But if you don't want to add anything onto the outer barrel, you can just stick with the standard flash hider that comes with it. Or you might prefer this style. There we go. And just put it back on, just slide it on, move the lever back into position, and you get your flash hider secured. Overall, really good little CQB weapon, I highly recommend. You can quite happily move around with it, get in angles, get in shots. You can make it really compact, you can hang it for a sling. If you're carrying a bigger weapon, you just need a backup. Very nice choice. Right, now we're going to move on to our Vulcan Aegs. The Vulcan Aeg Series are built from polymer with a 6-position adjustable stock, a spacious battery compartment, high capacity magazine, ambidextrous fire selector, ambidextrous magazine release, single point sling loop, threaded outer barrel, rails and rail attachment points, and an adjustable hop-up. So now we're going to look at the Vulcans. So internally they're all running off V2 gearboxes. They're nice, rugged and reliable. Externally there's some differences. So let's have a quick look at the differences externally first. So we've got the Tango here. Now the Tango, obviously it's a black and tan mix and it's really quite nice. Now with this one it has a M-lock handguard, so you've got M-lock on the sides and the bottom. Still has a rail all the way along the top. Now this gives it quite a cool look, I think, a really lightweight kind of special forces professional look, I suppose you could say. But it means you can attach M-lock attachment straight to it, or you can put some rails on. Now the next one, we have the TRG. Now the TRG has this very sci-fi looking rail, I think. I mean, look at that front mouthpiece, that's awesome. Now underneath we have rail, on top we have rail, and on the sides we have key mod. Now this means we can attach key mod attachment straight on, or you can attach rails using the key mod, and then you can attach attachments on the outside. Definitely has a cool look, that. I'm very, very happy with how that looks. It just looks good. Now, and then the final one is the MOD-M. Now the MOD-M has a very militaristic like rail and looks kind of 416 style, if you know what I mean, and pretty cool overall. Has a nice look. It does mean you can attach lots of stuff onto this, just straight on, stick it straight on the rails and good to go. So let's have a look at the rest of this gun, because it's the same as the rest. We've got a 6-position adjustable stock, see there, and the batteries are stored in the stock. So to access the stock, we just press the 2 pins at the back and off it comes. And inside we have lots of battery space, which is very nice considering there's a lot of other guns that you might want to buy new and you find they're a bit tight to get batteries in. So for the beginner, really good choice. You can also run a sling through the loop at the back, or you can put a sling mount on the bottom if you wanted to. Now just forward of the stock, we do have this single point sling loop, and at the very front we have another sling loop. With all the Vulcans, they have the single point sling loop and the same with the stock part. However, this is the only one with a front sling loop. So next up, charging handle. Pull it back, it flips open the dust cover. Now you have to hold this one back, but it allows you access to the adjustable hop unit. When you're done, just let go, closes up. Now next up we have the adjustable fire selector. So this is ambidextrous and you can swap it between safe, semi and full auto. Now it's got a really nice detent if you listen. Nice clear, crisp click. Now, what you can do is, this can be used left and right handed because the magazine release and the fire selector are ambidextrous. Now let's have a listen to it in single. It's quite nice, and in full auto. That's a really nice rate of fire, really decent, good trigger response. Overall that makes, considering its price bracket, it makes it really quite nice, really quite usable, and will quite happily keep up with a lot of competitors. Now the trigger is this flat pro style trigger with textured grip, and you get this really big trigger guard which allows you lots of space. Now the magazine releases, you've got the standard M4 on the right side, and on the left side we also have a mag release that you can just push and it will release it. This makes it very good if you are ambidextrous, if you're left-handed or right-handed. So on the top we've got a full length rail for attaching sights. We do have these flipper iron sights which can be removed. As you can see, once they're flipped up you can aim along. The rear one is adjustable for windage. However, if you've got them down, you do have these high visibility sights, which are awesome. So they're in Labour Green and they've got really high visibility, as hence the name high vis sights. Now even if I point them towards some of our filming lights, I can still make them out. They're still nice and clear, and they will help you acquire your target really easily. We then have the handrail, the handguard with the rails, and you can attach grenade launchers, grips, sights, lasers, everything you want to it. So you can put a sight up here, maybe a torch here, maybe a laser on the left side, and then some kind of grip or a grenade launcher on the underside. Gives you a lot of ability, a lot of customization. Of course you can get this with all three Valkens, because even though this one's got fixed rails, you can attach rails and attachments to the others. Then forward we have the outer barrel, the fake gas block, and a flash hider. Now these are 14mm counterclockwise threads. They are secured with Loctite, so if you do try to get it off you might find it a bit of a struggle to start with. However, you can take that off and attach a suppressor or a tracer unit, which once again makes it so you can make your own custom look. Now overall they are very nice. They've even got a non-standard M4 pistol grip, which is nice and textured. It's a lot comfier, I find. But they are very good beginner guns. They're definitely in the budget category, but they perform very much like professional ones and they really won't let you down. Very good choice. Right, let's pop back over to the overview. So we've had a good look at our budget but professional airsoft guns, and overall they're all very good choice. There's something for everyone, whether you want to do CQB, whether you want to be a sport gunner, or maybe you want to do in between, or you just want a nice rifle so you can go run around, go wherever you want and take out your targets quickly and easily. There really is something for everyone, and I really do hope you have a look and have found something you want. Thank you for watching.